we produce the largest number of movies in the world, which means हमारे पास स्टोरी टेलर्स हैं.
Correct.
So अगर स्टोरी टेलर्स हैं, इतने बड़े बड़े प्रोड्यूसर्स हैं, फिर भी इंडिया में किसी प्रोड्यूसर ने या किसी डायरेक्टर ने या किसी स्टोरी टेलर ने एनिमेशन आईपीस पे क्यों अपनी हाथ नहीं डाली?
ऐसा नहीं कि नहीं डाली है यार, काफी सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स हुए हैं पास्ट में. आई वाज आल्सो पार्ट ऑफ कपल ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट्स व्हिच वर लाइक रियली बिग, लाइक वी डिड वन फॉर धर्मा कुछ कुछ होता है, व्हिच नेवर रिलीज्ड. आई थिंक दैट टाइम द ऑडियंसेस वर नॉट प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर इंडियन एनिमेशन.
रेवेन्यू दिखना बहुत जरूरी है टू मेक अ फिल्म सक्सेसफुल, एंड यू गेट another film. Narasimha's success is that encouraging you to make a feature film next. So what would be your advice for somebody who wants to pitch an IP?
Don't get too much attached to your subject. Be ready for rejection. Be ready for what worst can happen. Abhi to animation you have just explored in theaters, OTT and broadcasting. You have a lot of scope in merchandising. You have a lot of scope in gaming.
Yeah.
So these things are untapped.
Kurukshetra is done. It's a successful series. Any particular mistake which you guys think you have done in process of Kurukshetra which you would not want to repeat for your next show?
I think that if I have to do Kurukshetra again, my biggest thing will be like, can I complete this in 1.5 years time, not 3.5 years what I have taken on Kurukshetra.
If a young content creator has brilliant idea and want to pursue the idea as an IP, so what would be the 2 or 3 advice that you would give that person? You've been a CEO of High Tech Animation for a pretty long time, and you have been an executive producer for the recent show which was aired on Netflix called as Kurukshetra. This is something very big because India has not seen an IP like this on Indian Netflix platform. Right?
Correct.
So हम इसके बारे में भी डिटेल में बात करेंगे.
Sure.
But before we jump into the IP story and all, India has world-class animators. Do you agree?
Of course, yes. Yeah.
We've been producing animation for the globe.
Right.
Then ऐसा क्यों है कि हमारे खुद के कंट्री में IPs बहुत कम है या है ही नहीं?
अभी तक जो है whatever journey we had, like we have been trained to tell other story. We are not yet trained to tell our own story. You can do very good animation, but at the same time, can you tell a very good story? There is a gap. It's a journey. Like you have to be in the ecosystem and you have to understand what is the requirement and what stories required at what time and what type of projects you have to work on. So it's a process. It's not one day that I thought, okay, Kurukshetra बनाना है and Kurukshetra बन जाएगा. ऐसा नहीं होगा. या मोटू पतलू बनाना है और मोटू पतलू बन जाएगा. It's a complete understanding of the market and it is not completely on us. Like we are only doing it. It is like collaboration. Like it's a collaboration with your broadcaster, with your client, and you make so many things. Like people only see the things which are on the surface. Like जैसे मोटू पतलू बन गया या you can say कुरुक्षेत्र हो गया या चीकू एंड बंटी हमारा बहुत पॉपुलर शो है जो टीवी पे एयर हो रहा है. पहले और उसके बीच में हमने बहुत सारी चीजें बनाई हैं जो आया ही नहीं है, ऊपर तक पहुंचा ही नहीं है, राइट. और कुछ हमने बनाया एंड डिडंट वर्क. सो देयर आर प्रोजेक्ट्स लाइक दैट. सो इट्स अ कंप्लीट जर्नी एंड देयर इज नो प्रोफेशनल व्हाट यू कॉल school or training happening in India, which is about storytelling. So I think अभी भी हमारे यहाँ पे storytelling is something like we have to work a little bit more. And how we manage to do things is like we understand that where we are very good at and where we need external help.
Okay.
So if you will see Kurukshetra also, like we knew that okay, we can do high class animation and we can produce a visual like which will be accepted by the world, but can we tell the story? And that's where like we thought that we need more help, and that's how we got a director and we got a support team from outside animation industry which came and worked with us, and that's how we were able to produce what we produced.
But as you said, India has been a country full of films, like you know, Bollywood and other regional films. Like we produce the largest number of movies in the world, one of the largest.
Right.
Now, that means we have lots of storytellers.
Right.
So when it comes to films, we have blockbusters films which make 500 crores, 1,000 crores, and 100 crores has become very regular for Indian market from the last couple of years. Now, उसके बावजूद, which means हमारे पास storytellers हैं.
Correct.
So अगर storytellers हैं, इतने बड़े बड़े प्रोड्यूसर्स हैं, फिर भी इंडिया में किसी प्रोड्यूसर ने या किसी डायरेक्टर ने या किसी स्टोरी टेलर ने एनिमेशन आईपीस पे क्यों अपनी हाथ नहीं डाली, या उनको कुछ रिस्क लगता था या व्हाट?
ऐसा नहीं कि नहीं डाली है यार, मतलब काफी सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स हुए हैं पास्ट में. आई वाज आल्सो पार्ट ऑफ कपल ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट्स व्हिच वर लाइक रियली बिग, लाइक वी डिड वन फॉर धर्मा कुछ होता है व्हिच नेवर रिलीज्ड, एंड there were projects like Roadside Romeo was released, and then Delhi Safari was there. I think that time the audiences were not prepared for animation shows like that.
For Indian
for,
animation
for
shows?
Indian animation.
Because they used to enjoy.
They used to enjoy, but that
international
was
content.
also, if you will see, not once a year एक कोई अच्छी फिल्म डिज्नी की आ गई तो लोग देखेंगे How to Train Your Dragon or like films like that. Otherwise, अगर आप देखेंगे तो आपके पास audience नहीं था. That was the difference that time. That is number one. Now I see, like I also talk on lots of panels, like we have now our audience is ready, like age group from say 1 year to 30-35 years, they all have grown up watching animations. They are aware, they know animation, they know the power of animation, and they, if the story is tell correctly, they will go to the theaters or they will sit in front of the TV and they'll watch. So हमारे पास अभी जो difference है वो time, अभी जो time है, we are prepared, like we can come up with good shows or good films and people will go and they will watch, and that's the number one thing which is right now working. But telling your own story and all needs a lot of belief and investment and funding चाहिए होता है, which I think is lacking right now. So and it is not structured. वो एक सबसे बड़ा holdback है for us, I think, and that is something like I'm hoping it will open up and people, because if you have to tell your story, it's not that one story you will prepare and it will go and it will become a hit. As I mentioned before, it is a process. Like you have to keep creating Bibles, you have to keep creating your short films and all, and keep showing it to people and then see what type of attraction you get, and also understand what is required at the moment. Like I strongly believe that Indian stories is the need of the hour at this moment. It will change with time, but right now, if we say our own story, this whole generation, like they are so curious to know about our own culture and all, they will watch and they will research. So I think we are prepared right now. Only thing is that right projects should come out.
Correct.
It's not that abhi market is open and anything will come and again the market will go and it will shut. It should not happen that way.
Correct. You've spent a lot of time in service industry, and then now you have produced a film, your own IP. So what was that mind shift change? Because हम सबको पता है कि India is a service country, और वो mind shift अभी भी काफी लोगों में है, and they don't dare to maybe think of an IP or for whatever reason. So आपने क्या mind shift change किया है from being a service provider to making your own IP?
That's what I mentioned, that it is not a one day thing that, okay, we decided that we have to tell our own story.
Correct.
It's a whole process. Like when we started, we were working with a client and we were creating our own storyboards, getting involved in the writing and all. Slowly, we started understanding the whole process, and then we realized that, okay, now whatever ideas we have in our mind, we know the structure, how we have to put our stories in that structure and present it.
Yeah.
So it was a process for us. It is not an overnight mindset shift. It is like it was happening one after the other, and then we realized that, okay, we are now prepared. We can tell our own stories. So we have been to many people. We go and we pitch our projects. Many a times we get rejections, but many a times we get appreciation. Many a times we also got projects awarded. That's why I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you. So
in India, if somebody wants to develop their own IP from service provider to move their shift to their own IP.
Yes.
So we have tools and technology, we have artists, we have talent, and we have platform. Platform is all lots of OTTs
yes,
now.
Now you have.
Yeah. What is that one gap which needs to be filled if somebody wants to move from a service provider to an IP creator?
Again, a good story, a good storytelling. Because I have seen studios doing really good animation right now. As I mentioned before, very good animation. But when it comes to storytelling, it's a complete different art. I think there are no shortcuts, number one. What I understand is you have to first accept that what you know, and what you don't know, you have to work on that. And like what we did on Kurukshetra, not that we have not created stories, we have created stories, but we have been advocate for creating building animation for elderly people, and we are doing this for a long time. We are talking to a lot of people, and we were seeing that, okay, can we get an opportunity? And this is like, we started 6-7 years back that we want to do something in adult zone. Like when I say adult, like elderly people. Elderly people zone. We realized that, okay, we need a good director or a good writer who can come and who can contribute, because that's an area where studio needed help. We were not hesitant. We understood that gap, and then we hired a live action director, and we got him into the studio, and we decided that we will work in this pattern, and that was the first time we were doing that, and we had a lot of not issues, but a lot of understanding, a lot of unlearning, learning we both had to do, and finally the product came out. It really worked for us. So I really think that you have to collab where you see a gap. First you have to accept that there is a gap, and over there you can take external help, and then you can say your stories.
Yeah.
And it really helped because my director was not aware about animation that time.
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah, it actually, and we told him that you don't think about animation. Wherever there, like animation is needed, like we will take care of it. We will make sure that we will create what you are writing. We will make sure that it is interpreted in a right way. But even he was very smart, and he started adapting animation, and he worked hand in hand with us.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah,
nice.
it really worked.
So that's exactly, I think what you said is now what I understood is
Yes.
most of the studios who service providers think that we will make an IP and they start directing themselves or writing
Right.
themselves and all.
Right.
So what you guys did smartly is you knew that हमारा forte animation है, story telling भले होगा, but हम अच्छा काम कर सकते हैं, but कोई guide करो.
Correct.
You onboarded a live action director, writer whose
Right.
forte is
Correct.
what they are. So it's a good collaboration.
It's a good collaboration, and in this particular Kurukshetra, we treated each episode like a movie.
Yeah.
So we had a cinematographer, we had an action director, and we had a dress designer, and it really worked. It works seamlessly. Lot of credit goes to our high tech team. Like they ensured that Tipping Point and high tech and the team we got, like they all work hand in hand. So we coordinated it really well. And again, I told you that we worked on each frame with utmost honesty and determination, and that's what you can see on the screen, and it people really accepted it.
This is nice for an animation movie.
Yeah.
You had cinematographers, live action cinematographers. You had live action costume directors and costume team.
Right.
You had, of course, a writer and a director. So everyone, whatever crew members are there for live action movies,
Right.
you replicated the same, brought the
Yes.
same team for
Yes.
an animation movie.
Yes.
I think that's what makes it.
Because we strongly believe that this project is like big. We have to think from a feature point of view. For us, like we treated this as a feature. We said that okay, this each and every frame has to look big.
Correct.
And not that I doubt the people like we have in our animation team, but we knew that okay, if they will get external support, they will do wonders.
Okay.
And that's what like we believed in, and then we move forward, and yeah.
And almost exactly at the same time, Maha Avatar Narsimha was a theatrical release.
Yeah.
And made lots of money.
Right.
I mean, when I spoke to a couple of more content creators and IP developers in the last 2-3 days, they said कि boss, revenue दिखना बहुत जरूरी है to make a film successful. And
course.
you get another film. अगर
Yes.
revenue नहीं आया तो कोई और
Yes.
invest नहीं करेगा.
Yes.
So is that encouraging? That as in the Narsimha success, is that encouraging you guys to make a feature film next?
We always thought about feature film, and Narsimha is a proof of concept. Like,
Correct.
okay, if you do a story, and if you say a story in a right way, and if you know so much about that subject, what I like about Narsimha is like the way it has been made. The creator Ashwin and all, like they know the story in and out. And they are convinced that this story will work, and they know that they can say the story really like in a strong way. And he has done that, and he has communicated that so well. That's why people has accepted it. That's why I always say that say the story which you strongly believe you can say. And when you're starting, like you have to first believe in what you are doing. First you have to convince yourself, and you are convinced, then you can convince others.
Correct. During the making of Kurukshetra, so the entire journey, and you explained, like, you planned it well, there's that and everything. So was there any very difficult and challenging process in the entire making of Kurukshetra, be it technical, be it dealing with the OTT platform or convincing them?
In high tech, we have this belief that whatever project we do, we keep doing next. We ensure that it looks better than what we have done in the past. So that is our a strong belief, and trust me. Whatever budgets we get, we ensure that okay, within that budget, what best we can do. Okay. So we take help of technology, we take help of whatever tools available, and we ensure that okay, our shows should look better. So in this, each and every step was a challenge from, I told you, from story point of view, because everyone knows story about Mahabharata. Everyone has, like, they have seen Mahabharata, they know about Mahabharata, they have read about Mahabharata. So that became a biggest challenge for us, like how we're going to say our story and still the audience will sit and they will watch, right? So we have not experimented a lot. We have not, we have told the story with utmost truth, and whatever was there we have just portrayed the same way. We have not interpreted the story over there. We have worked on the visuals and you can say the styling of the show. That was a biggest challenge for us, and we worked really well. I think the team worked really well over there. Then comes to technology. We have used as per the sequence requirement, we have taken help of different softwares. Like, we have done all the backgrounds in Unreal, and we have used Blender. We have done texture on the faces so that we can maintain the styling and all. Painted look, if you will see the expressions, why you getting convinced by a character's expression, why you liking the characters, because we have worked on those textures so well, and it all clicked, and it worked seamlessly.
The Indian mythology is very sensitive, and the biggest risk in India to make content on Indian mythology is you have to be very careful. You can't take risk, you can't go wrong, or you can't even experiment. कि चलो थोड़ा नया करके देखते हैं, मजा आएगा, and people will troll you big time.
Yes.
And of course, when you're putting your money and you're putting so many people's hard work for years, this content has been done, you can't take challenges. So how did you balance this thing of making sure that the content and the authenticity of the story remains, but at the same time you make it different, because Mahabharata has been done multiple times on as films, as TV shows, and everything. So we need to make it good. Stylized is one thing that you can make it, which is good. But did you have challenges, or was there something that you kept the authenticity also there intact? At the same time, you experimented with something new differently.
As I told you, that we told the story as it is. Like, we have not interpreted anything. Like, we have gone with the, what do you call, authenticity of the stories, and we have invested good amount of time in research. We have taken 8 months to 12 months time just to research, and we had expert on the panel who was ensuring that whatever we are writing or whatever we are showing, it is not going outside the syllabus. Like, it is from the books, and it is truth. It is not something like we are taking cinematic liberty too much. So that was something like we have worked. We were very cautious. Each step we have to follow really well. Where we have experimented, I'll tell you that we had opportunity to experiment on the style. Again, the style we had chosen that time was, we wanted to go a traditional way. We wanted to create an animation style or animation visuals in a way it is not seen by Indians before. Like, we wanted to create our own style. So we were very, very much sure about that. So, and as a studio, so we have kept the style in such a way that it's accepted by the Gen Zs and also accepted by the millennials. So that was that worked really well. If you will see our characters, if you will see our character spaces, they still look a little modern. But if you will see our costumes, we have not played with the costumes. So we wanted to keep the costume as it is, because we didn't wanted to play too much with the character, so that the character should not look ke wo game cinematic se aa gaya. So because you have a lot of influence nowadays, right, from so many things you see.
Manga,
so we thought that this project needs like ek authenticity chahiye, and you have to stick to that. And we see there is no formula. We that time what we believed, we thought that it will look good. We believed in that. We conveyed that, and we worked hand in hand with our client, and that's how like the whole thing came out.
As you said earlier कि ना बहुत पिचिंग हुआ है, आपने बहुत पिचिंग किया है, कभी बहुत अप्रिसिएशन मिला, कभी रिजेक्शन भी आया, which is
brutal rejection मिला है.
अच्छा, एकदम. And in spite of working in this industry for more than 25 years, right? 20 साल के बाद भी रिजेक्शन आएगा. ऐसा नहीं कि स्टार्टिंग के 5 साल में उसके बाद नहीं
आएगा.
So वो तो आता ही है. बहुत सारे कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स को ये पता है कि बहुत रिजेक्शन आएगा, and then they stop. They don't want to get into this idea of pitching an IP. What is that thing which one should keep it in mind before they pitch an IP? It can be a 25-year-old experienced person. See, ideas can be from a fresher also, like somebody who's just passed out and can have brilliant idea.
Right.
And sometimes it takes 25 years. काम करते करते suddenly you decide कि नहीं अभी मेरे को IP करना है, then the idea comes in. But both are freshers in the industry of pitching IP.
Correct.
So is there something that somebody has to keep it in mind before pitching an IP to a producer or a platform or television broadcaster or whatever? You've done broadcast for years now. I think you've seen all the platforms. You've seen films, you've done international films, you've been broadcast, and now OTT platform.
So producer on Tinkerbell also.
Exactly, yeah, international project. So wow, this is a good combination here. I didn't realize this. So what would be your advice for somebody who wants to pitch an IP?
Whenever you're creating your story, like big directors, live action maybe, if you will see in India, internationally also, they make them films and their films don't work.
Yeah.
Right? They don't stop. They go to the next one. So don't get too much attached to your subject.
Okay.
Like whatever you have created, good, you are liking it. First, you have to like it and then you have to go and pitch. But don't get too much attached. Like be ready for the rejection. Be ready for what worst can happen. But that should not demotivate you. If you really think that you can say stories, then I think you have to work on multiple ideas at the same time, because you have to. It's not that something you like will be accepted by everybody, right? So you have to understand and you have to create a bouquet. Where you have different type of flowers in it, so and go and pitch and see how you get what type of response you get. I think that good stories find their way.
Okay.
Trust me on that. Like I have seen some projects where the projects were the Bibles were very strong and the studio support was not there. But I have seen broadcasters getting the storyteller and the studios together and they make sure that that project happens. So we always say that ये नहीं हुआ, वो ने reject कर दिया, उसने ये कर दिया. But very few people know the good side of broadcasters. Like they also support you when it's needed, and they are also convinced that okay, the story is good, and they think that this should come on TV. They will not leave that story. Trust me, I have not seen. I've worked with all of them.
All of you.
And if they believe in the story, they will make sure that it is happening somehow. And many a times, like you also have examples where people have created their own episodes and they have gone and they liked it and they have taken it and they are open to it. But you should not get too much attached. Rejection will come and you have to accept it and you have to move forward. That's what I can say.
Yeah, attached is as in some people think कि ये best IP है जो मैंने बनाया है.
तो it's your own baby, right?
उनको नहीं पता, समझ में आ रहा, but मुझे पता है.
मुझे पता है.
So हाँ, मैंने ये भी बहुत देखा कि वो लोग उसको सालों सालों तक लेके घूमते हैं.
Right.
What you said is right. If it's not working with couple of people, I think you should think of something else also. So as an executive producer, how do you decide whether an idea is worth investing time in it for or move to another idea? You know, so somebody brings you a pitch and you feel wow, because of your experience, you feel कि इसमें potential है, नहीं है, इसमें time invest करना चाहिए. So is that something that you calculate?
See, if you will ask about me and like my team at High Tech, if we come across a good project and we really believe in a project, we accept that and we whatever changes are required, we suggest that from our side, and then we surely go to the broadcaster and we pitch and we support the creator. And we also have a live example. One of my director who's starting a new show with us.
Okay.
It's he came up with his story, and we really liked his story. And we said that okay, we will work on this, and we created a Bible with him, and we invested in the Bible. That story didn't click, like it didn't get accepted, but we ensured that that director gets engaged with us.
Okay.
And he's right now going to work on one of our project which we created, and he's going to direct it.
Okay.
So we don't leave the talent. If we think that potential is there, his story didn't work, it's okay, but at least he knows how to tell the story. So that's how we have observed him, and like he's in a very, very important part of our team now. And you will see his name in the next project, and he's from animation background.
Oh wow.
So yeah, we do. That's what our approach is.
So as you said, he's from an animation background. So there is also a wide scope for our existing animators, supervisors, to come up with an idea and pitch, because they can also become directors,
it happens.
Right?
It happens. Many of them come and they pitch their ideas, and as I told you that if we really believe in their ideas, we support them, we invest in them, and we at least go till Bible stage or storyboarding stage, and we do that much. And sometimes some projects, and many times it doesn't work, but then at least you have to try 20 projects and then one project gets clicked sometimes, right? It's not that you go with one project and bang on. It is not.
Very rare.
Before creating Kurukshetra, we also did Pandavas.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, and we created 100 episodes of that, and it didn't took off from there. So a lot of things you learn from the process. Of course, that was done in a kids zone. When we started that project, that time also we thought that we will do this for say Colors TV or for GEC.
Yeah.
So that was the thought process, but we didn't get that much funding. So then we decided, okay, fine, let's go in the similar format of Motu Patlu or
Yeah.
whatever shows were working on that time. So yeah, it's we never get too much attached. ठीक है, it नहीं हुआ, कोई बात नहीं. We'll go to the next one. We'll go to the next one, and that's how you work. I've worked 25 years to reach to Kurukshetra, so it's a long journey. I'm not saying that everybody should
Yes,
take
absolutely,
25 years, but yeah, that's how the whole industry was, and that's how we learned and we have grown. Yeah, at least now the market is ready, and at least now you have a lot of success stories.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some young guy will come with a very good story which will be accepted by India and the world. Like, as I told you that next 5 years, if things go in the right way, we will say a story which will travel.
Yeah. I mean, during our time, it was either film theaters or TV. There was no other medium to
Correct.
showcase your work
Yes.
or bring your IP to. And both were dominated by somewhere or the other.
Right.
But now the opportunity is कुछ नहीं.
हाँ.
तो reels बनाओ.
Exactly.
30 second
YouTube is
episode.
there.
Yeah. YouTube है.
Things are evolving, Samit. If you will see, you mentioned about OTT coming in, and you mentioned that you have nothing to reels banao. So, but abhi to animation you have just explored in theaters, OTT, and broadcasting. You have a lot of scope in merchandising. You have a lot of scope in gaming.
Yeah.
So these things are untapped till. I'm sure that in coming years it will open up,
Yeah.
and this market will become so big, like you can't even imagine. I was reading, or I saw a podcast where they were talking about Indian like American gaming industry. It's bigger than their like
Live action movies.
live action
Yeah,
movies.
of
So
course,
so just so much of potential and so much of what do you call scope is there in animation, which is untapped, and I'm sure in coming years it will open up. And I'm also working with Koreans and some international clients, and I've seen the numbers over there, merchandising numbers. Like, I was surprised to see how much money they are making and over there. I said, okay, episodes are like just a small business. Like the main business is merchandising.
Kurukshetra is done. Okay, it's a successful series. But there would be some mistakes that you must have done. ऐसा कोई project नहीं होता जिसमें हम गलतियां नहीं करते हैं और उसी से सीखते हैं.
Of course.
So any particular mistake which you guys think you have done in process of Kurukshetra, which you would not want to repeat for your next show?
So I think that if I have to do Kurukshetra again, my biggest thing will be like, can I complete this in 1.5 years time? So that's something like I think I have learned, and when I'm doing the next project, I would like to complete my project in 1.5 years time, and not 3.5 years what I have taken on Kurukshetra. And of course now you have AI, so you can take a lot of help from AI and remove the monotonous work and make your process more robust.
So how much time did Kurukshetra take?
Kurukshetra took 3.5 years for us. I told you that we took 8 months time in research.
Okay.
8 to 10 months time in research, and then cracking our first 2 stories, and then moving forward.
Pre-production took a lot of time. Then
a
it
lot
was
of time.
easier
Yes,
and faster.
Yes.
And what would be the team strength who worked on
It was 300 artists,
for 3 years?
for 3 years.
My God,
Yes,
that's good. Yes.
Because if you will say a good story and if you're not able to
Deliver.
interpret, then it is gone. Like,
Yeah. Kurukshetra took 3 years. So your work must have started, say, about 3 years from now.
Yeah.
And technology is changing every 6 months.
Yeah.
So AI is changing every 6 days.
Huh.
But other technologies are also changing every 6 months. Did you guys adapt to the new technologies in between the pipeline? Because it's also a big risk. Yeah.
Yes, because I told you that we at High Tech, because we are doing a lot of domestic projects, so we always have this issue that the budgets are not increasing, okay, but the demand is high because the audience is getting smarter. So you have to give them stories, or we give them visuals which look convincing enough. So for that, we always take technology's help. Like, we have a motion capture setup in our studio.
Oh, you have your
yes, we have, and not now. We have since last 6-7 years.
Yeah.
We have used a lot of motion capture on Kurukshetra also.
Yeah.
Yes, and we work on Blender pipeline. We work Maya, to everybody works. We are using Unreal. We are right now working with Unreal very closely and seeing what we can do on the character side, because that is something we have not explored. So we are working on that. If that works well, maybe we will in our next project we'll incorporate Unreal in more detail.
More
So
detail,
yeah, we have a team, dedicated team, which works and which does a lot of R&D on the new technologies coming up. We are also working on AI, and we have a small setup where we are doing a lot of R&D, and we are seeing how we can incorporate AI in our system overall, so that we can give higher quality within a smaller time or shorter time range.
Yeah. So
And
that your
yes.
target of finishing the next
Yes.
Kurukshetra within
Yeah.
1.5 years would be
We
fulfilled.
are using AI for pre-production, but now we have to see how we can incorporate that in our pipeline in animation or in post-production. So that's where our R&D is going on, and we are very serious about that.
So finally, if a young content creator has a brilliant idea,
Right.
now you have 25 years of experience. I've been in the industry, so I
Right.
know where to approach.
Yes.
You to obviously will pick up the phone and
Right.
call. But a young guy who's not even in Mumbai, for example, not in the main city,
Right.
and but has brilliant ideas,
Right.
and want to pursue the idea as an IP. So what would be the two or three advice that you would give that person or anyone who is watching, anyone who has an idea? What should they be doing, or how should their approach be? Where should they approach?
Right. See, unfortunately, हमारे यहाँ पे ऐसा कोई platform नहीं है where you come and you say your own stories or you come and pitch. But studios like us, you can surely come, you can approach us, and we can sign our NDA, and you can show us your story, and we can definitely take that story. If we are convinced, we will make sure that it is reaching to the right people. So that's what we can contribute right as of now. The other way is like create a good Bible or create a short a video and put it on YouTube. And trust me, if your story is really good, it will reach to the right people. And today's time, the talent will come on the surface. No matter what you do, it may take some time, but it will come.
And if it goes viral, that can become be an IP, and then some investor would say, अरे ये तो मैंने भी देखा है, इसको बनाते हैं, फिल्म बनाते हैं, या जो
वायरल तो भी नहीं, मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि राइट लोगों के तक भी पहुंच जाए कि भाई किसी ने देख लिया. Because I am telling you, like I work with broadcasters. They have their eyes and ears open all the time. They are thinking and they are watching everything. And sometimes you also, when we say that आपने वो देखा, they know everything. So they are also doing a lot of research, and they have people who understand that, and they know how to reach people also. So if you have good story, put it on YouTube, or you can approach a studio like us, and if we think that okay, your story has depth in it, we will definitely support you, and whatever we can do, we will surely.
So we'll put the high-tech animation website link in the description. So anyone who's watching would want to reach out to high-tech, not just as a content creator, but also as an artist who would like to apply for jobs.
Correct. People do apply, but be ready. Sometimes we will not respond, or sometimes we will reject the stories. So don't say that अरे वो podcast में बोला था कि you come to us and we will support
उसके
you.
पहले ये भी बोला है be ready for rejections. तो हमने दोनों बोला है. So story has to have depth. ऐसा नहीं कि पहुंच गए तो सबका story चलेगा. As Ashish himself said कि 25 साल के बाद भी इन्होंने rejection झेला है.
हम आगे भी झेलेंगे.
Not necessary. Correct.
If somebody reaches me, I make sure that if I can't help him, at least I can give him some advice. और मेरे को जितना आता है मैं कोशिश करता हूँ कि I can convey.
Correct.
So that's always my intention is I do that.
Broadcast industry, what it used to be.
Yes.
TV industry. What it used to be a couple of years back, especially for kids channel. Okay, let's narrow it down to kids channel. Has shrunk immensely. There are no new contents coming in. Very less content coming in. So it had affected our animation industry also big time. Indian animation industry. What would you like to say about it? Is it phasing out? Will that go away completely, or it will come back again? What is the story?
See, it is going through a revamp, I think so, because we are also, as I told you, that we also interact with them. We are understanding their point of view also. The revenue on the kids channel is reducing or whatever. It's a challenge to get their money back. So of course it has impacted the overall business big time, because earlier like overall, if I'll say that 10-15 shows used to run at a time in different broadcasts, but now hardly 6, 7 or 8 projects are going on, because and revamp is happening because they are also now trying to think how they should convey the stories or what should be the way forward. So in kids area, like it is little ambiguity is there. Time it will change.
Okay.
And I think it will revamp in coming years, and you will see more shows on TV, because consumption of content will be there. Abhi now कैसे होगा वो किस फॉर्मेट में होगा, वो AI होगा या वो आप उसको क्रिएट करेंगे इन स्टूडियो पाइपलाइन, दैट इज अ क्वेश्चन विच even I'm trying to figure it out. So I don't have any answer, but yeah, that's where the whole ambiguity is there. So we're just waiting. कि देखते with time what happens. But we are working on the shows, not the amount of shows I used to work 5 years back, but less. But yeah, we are.
For Kurukshetra also, or for high-tech animation, there are 300 people working in-house, and you also had vendors outside whom you outsource the work. So that's also a big opportunity for freelancers and smaller studios.
Right.
If you can't be a big studio like high-tech or mid-sized studio like somebody else, even if you're a smaller studio, you have opportunities to tie up with bigger studios. Can you just explain a little bit more in depth?
See, first, studio size doesn't matter. Like you have to understand your niche. What you are good at and what you can do and make money. See, end of the day, to business hai.
Correct.
So, like you have to understand your niche. Like if you are very good in pre-production, then keep your structure, like your studio at pre-production level, but do good work.
Correct.
And then trust me, you will start getting good work. And if you are really good, then projects will come to you. Okay, if you are very good in animation and you can make money in that and go as per your niche, do not overnight, don't try to expand. Give time, try to understand how the business is, and smaller setups will always be safe because work will come and work will go. But if you can maintain, say, X amount of people at any given point of time, and because after a few years, like you understand, oh, this I can manage. If you can manage that, I would suggest at this moment, do not try to grow. Just wait and collaborate, like with different studios, and take work and work honestly with each other. Don't try to snatch each other's client. That will never happen also. But don't do that. But yeah, you work. Of course, ambition should be there, but it has to go step by step in an ethical way.
Correct.
I would suggest not to expand right now. Just wait and watch what is happening, how the technology changes are going to be there, and what audiences are going to accept, and then collaboration
is very important and is possible. You're a CEO of high-tech animations. You're totally dependent on projects. Project nahi hai, to kya hoga? People will be on bench.
Right.
That's okay. Secondly, what other support would you expect from government, or is government now in the last 1 or 2 years, because government is also taking AVGC slightly seriously.
Yes.
Modi ji has also announced like AVGC XR in his couple of speeches.
Right.
Even Man Ki Baat mein he has specifically mentioned about AVGC XR and things like that. And Waves was a big event, which platform which Modi ji has started. So is there any support coming from government in our industry, or have you leveraged some of them?
I have not leveraged, but I am aware about initiative taken by the government, and it's really good. Incentives, what we get for service work, it's a nice step, I can say.
Just elaborate, what do you mean by incentives?
Like when you are doing a service job, okay,
Which
international, suppose it comes from XYZ company, not from India, outside India.
Outside
okay,
India.
If it is coming to India and you're producing that work in India, and whatever amount of work that is, say you've done a project of $1 million, and government will give you an incentive on top of that once you complete the project.
Because the work has come to India from
India, and you have given employment, and you are making the service run smoothly. So government supports you over there. Government also supports you with co-productions when you do with international client, and that's the thing I was talking about. That animation will travel to the world because you are also getting government support over there. And if you are doing co-production, and if it has Indian character or Indian element to the project, you will get additional incentives. They are really serious about that, because I've also been part of a couple of panels, and I've heard them, and they understand, and they are really serious about it. And I think that is going to really help the overall industry, because when we started, we were not even recognized. At least in the present time, the present government, like AVGC was formed, and like we are recognized as a entity altogether. And I'm really happy, and I really think that it's going to help all of us in the long run. It is still getting robust, the whole system over there. They are also doing trial and errors. They are also understanding what is the right way forward. But in the coming couple of years, I am sure that it will work smoothly. And I know that the real incentives have come to the studios, which is so motivating. And also it is known to international. They are also successful in communicating this to the international studios, and that is also one of the attraction people want to send work to India.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Money has come from
Yes,
government as an
yes.
incentives.
Yeah.
Big studio, small studio, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
All you need to do is you need to apply for it.
Apply
Because
for
a lot of people are unaware of such things.
Apply for it and be very clear and honest for what you are
Applying for, yeah,
applying for.
yeah.
Yeah, and keep your paper very clean.
Yeah.
And you will get your money.
So finally, AI is here.
Yes.
Okay. 3 years back when you started Kurukshetra, AI was not there. But as a company owner, do you think it's good that your work will be faster? You wouldn't need that many manpower. Quality, what you want, it will be delivered, and it can deliver things which you might have not thought of that your studio is capable of doing. Correct?
Yeah. So AI, I told you, we accept all the technology. Whatever technology comes, we accept with open hands. AI, we are already working on it. We already have a setup. We are trying to integrate AI in our pipeline beyond pre-production. I already mentioned. And our idea is to involve AI seamlessly in the system.
Okay.
That if I'm using AI, people should not come to know that I've used AI. So that's what we are working towards right now. Success, not success, I cannot predict right now, but we are taking it very seriously, and we have to. You cannot escape. There are a lot of questions right now arising in everybody's mind, and we are still trying to figure out that if you're using AI, what will be the complete solution. Example, I'll give you. If I create a story using AI pipeline, and I'm creating animation using using an AI pipeline, and it becomes huge success. Do I hold all the IP rights for that character or for that show? I don't know that.
Correct.
As of now, I don't know. So I'm also learning with time.
Yeah.
So that is the first thing come to my mind. Of course, we can create
Yeah.
whatever we want to create, but who's hold
holding
the
the,
rights?
right.
So that's something I'm sure even the broadcasters are thinking in that area. So this is just one question. There are a lot of things going on right now in everybody's mind. It is going to be our pipeline process. Yes, it is going to be our pipeline process. Our first target is to maintain the quality and reduce the timeline using AI.
Correct.
So that's what we are working towards right now. We are not working, we are in a studio of say 1,000 people. Now we will work with only 50 people and we'll create shows. That's not going to happen overnight. Okay. And that's not going to be a way forward.
Yeah.
Of course, AI will definitely help you to make good animation. And if you accept it and if you learn it, your life will be easy. If you are scared, then it's going to be really tough. It's going to be really, really tough for
Yes.
Cool.
All right. Thank you so much, Ashish, for
You're welcome.
spending your time here for this podcast. And yeah, this is not the last time you're coming here.
Yes.
For all your next IPs, however, we are going to celebrate. We're going to talk about it and educate our audience.
100%.
Thank you so much once again.